Okay, it's the Tuesday, June 3rd, regular meeting of Lorain County Board of Commissioners. Let's commence with the pledge to the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Commissioner Riddell.
Here.
Commissioner Moore.
Here.
Mr. Gallagher.
Here.
We have a quorum. Under resolutions number 1, investments.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion. Commissioner Moore.
Aye.
Commissioner Riddell.
Aye.
Commissioner Gallagher.
Aye.
Number 2, appropriations.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion. Commissioner Moore.
Aye.
Commissioner Riddell.
Aye.
Commissioner Gallagher.
Aye.
Number 3, transfers.
Move to approve. Second.
Discussion.
Yes, if you'll notice, these are the only transfers on the sheet this week are from, for people who are getting paid out for their sick time and stuff, and you'll see the size of those is much more appropriate for what we expect.
Commissioner Gallagher.
Aye.
Commissioner Moore.
Aye.
Commissioner Riddell.
Aye.
Number 4, advances, repayments, there were none. Number 5, requisitions. Bless you.
Bless you. So moved.
That's page 1. We have page 2. Okay. Now,
So moved. I'll second.
Discussion. Commissioner Gallagher.
Aye.
Commissioner Moore.
Aye.
Commissioner Riddell.
aye.
Number 6, travel.
Move to approve. Second.
Discussion. Commissioner Moore.
Aye.
Commissioner Gallagher.
Aye.
Commissioner Riddell.
Aye.
Number 7, bills.
Got 6 pages.
Page 2. Page 3. That completes the general fund. Page 4 starts special revenue funds. Page 5. And lastly, page 6.
Move to approve. Second.
Discussion. Commissioner Moore.
Aye.
Commissioner Gallagher.
Aye.
Commissioner Riddell.
Aye.
Number 8, county commissioners may recess an executive session to consider the appointment, employment, dismissal, discipline, promotion, demotion, or compensation of a public employee or official, along with any other matters specifically identified by motion in accordance with the Ohio Revised Code 121.22G 1 through 8. Unless expressly stated otherwise during executive session, matters discussed in executive session are designated by the county commissioners as confidential. Because of the confidentiality of such matters is necessary for the proper conduct of government business, any disclosure outside of executive session is prohibited by Ohio Revised Code 102.03B. While in executive session, the county commissioners may discuss and deliberate on the matters at issue, but no votes may be taken until open session resumes.
Thank you. And we will have executive session today for pending legal matters.
I do not have any forms for public comment. Old business?
Old business. Any old business from the commissioners? Nope, no old
No.
business.
Board business, 9, approve and waive the reading in the county commissioners meeting minutes of May 23rd, 2025.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Commissioner Riddell.
Aye.
Commissioner Gallagher.
Aye.
Commissioner Moore.
Aye.
10, adjust the salary of various Elyria Municipal Court employees, which reflects the county's 2/5 share, effective retroactive January 1st to 25 for said employees. Richard Schwartz, magistrate, rate is $1,793.85. Michael Gebhardt, bailiff 1, step A, rate is $1,124.64. And Jackie Vaca, bailiff, rate is $1,124.64.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
Yes, for those watching, this reflects the financial obligations between the county and the city courts, including Elyria.
Anything further? Commissioner Dell?
Aye.
Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Commissioner Gallagher?
Aye.
Community Development, 11, award a contract to Barbicus Construction Company Akron in the amount of $265,400.85 for Carolyn, Luann, and Monica Drives in North Ridgeville for a resurfacing project, which includes a contingency for any unforeseen change orders from the CDBG FY23 program. 7 bids were received, this being the most responsive complying with specifications. North Ridgeville will provide the county $115,400.85 to be deposited in the CDBG FY23 sub-funds, and project will be paid from the account CDBG FY Contract Services.
So moved. Second.
Discussion.
Yes, Victor, you want to bring that up, please? Thank you.
But real quick, Victor, thanks for all the bids. There's a lot there.
Anything further?
No?
Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Commissioner Gallagher?
Aye.
Commissioner Riddell?
Aye.
Number 12, approving CDBG PY25 application submission to the Ohio Department of Development in the amount of $648,000 for CDBG allocation and $750,000 for CDBG critical infrastructure. Critical infrastructure is $500,000 for the city of North Ridgeville and $250,000 for the city of Sheffield Lake. 1, public service activity, Meal on Wheels, Neighborhood Alliance, PY 2025 CDBG Community Development Allocation Grant Funds, $97,200, which is the national objective of eliminate clientele. 2, Sheffield Lake Sewer Line Improvement Project Phase 1, PY 25 CDBG Community Development Allocation Grant Funds, $251,200, national objective is the LMI area-wide benefit. 3, North Ridgeville Water Line Replacement Phase 1, PY 25 CDBG Community Development Allocation Grant Funds, $120,000. $150,000 dedicated funding minus $30,000 administration is national objective equals the LMI area-wide benefit. 4, Neighborhood Alliance Haven Center Homeless Shelter Courtyard Playground Installation, PY 25 CDBG Community Development Allocation Grant Funds, $50,000. National objective is the limited clientele. 5, Fair Housing Program, PY 25 CDBG Community Development Allocation Grant Funds, $23,000. And 6, General Administration, PY 25 CDBG Community Development Allocation Grant Funds, $106,600.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion.
So this all totals 648, correct? So is there any administrative fees that are gonna be, that we collect?
Yeah, thank you, Commissioner. Yes, there is, and there's a fee that we will be, from the 640, and it's been deducted from this number.
It has been?
Yes, sir.
What's the dollar amount, do you know? Is it 10% or is it 12?
I believe it's 12% off
is
the
it
top of my head.
12% of the
Of the
648, right?
Correct.
I was getting texts at 6 a.m. at what that number was gonna be, so I just wanted to make sure.
I'll get back to you with the exact
Well,
dollar.
Out of the 3 people watching, I'm sure he's one of them, so. I
Yes.
just wanted to make sure he knew what the number was, so.
It was tough. It was tough to pick between all these or put them up.
No, but, I have nothing else. That was it.
Okay. Anything further? Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Commissioner Gallagher?
Aye.
Commissioner Riddell?
Aye.
Under Job and Family,
Thanks for coming
13. 13, authorize Christopher Cabot, Director of JFS, as designee on behalf of the County Commissioners for the period of July 1st of 25 through June 30th of 26, following the Fiscal Administrative Procedures Manual, Chapter 6, 51019682, Intercounty Adjustment of Allocations. He will release and accept funds from the account federal grants.
Move to approve?
Second.
Discussion.
Since Chris is here, does he want to speak, or?
I'll stand. I'm not afraid. Good afternoon, Commissioners.
Good afternoon,
Thank you.
Chris.
Thank you for allowing me this time. The inter-county adjustment allocations allows our county to share or receive funds with the other 87 counties in the state. These are TANF dollars and Title 20 dollars. This program allows counties, ensures that all counties spend down their funds each year so that no money gets sent back to the federal government. Lorain County has done just fine spending our money over the past few years. We have done an excellent job. The total funding is above $6 million, and we keep those funds primarily within the county. We also, this allows us to, so in the event that, say, one of our contractors, after we made an award, was no longer in business or something, we had that money sitting there, we could send that money to a different county so that they could utilize that money, and vice versa. If we needed money, we could also receive some from the other counties. For example, another county may need an additional I'm just making these numbers up, but $200,000 for a TANF program such as school clothes. And we may need an additional $200,000 for APS. This also allows us to sort of trade those funds and the way they're allocated. So it's just a really good system we have in place to make sure that all of the counties have access to the fund that our constituents so desperately need. So the last time that we actually the last time that we sent money out was in 2023. So for the last year and a half, we've kept everything that we've been given. So that's that.
Do you see, is this something that happens quite a bit in other counties? Do you see that type of people reciprocate and?
Yeah, it does happen a lot, and it's a show of goodwill between counties. We, really work to help each other out. Everybody is working for the same clientele, the same people with the same needs. So if somebody is in need of some financial assistance and we have the ability to provide that, we're gonna do that, knowing that we're helping our public, first and foremost.
Okay.
Nice work.
Thank you. I can sit back down and come back up, or we can go.
Oh,
into-
okay, we'll vote. Go ahead.
Anything further on this one? Commissioner Gallagher?
Aye.
Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Commissioner Riddell?
All right,
14, authorized purchase service agreement between JFS and Beyond Guardianship Services Elyria in the amount of $20,000 for the protective services for adults using Title 20 Social Service Block Grant Funds for federal fiscal year 25. This is effective retroactive to June 1st of 25 through September 30th of 25 and will be paid from the Title 20 Social Service Block Grant.
Move to approve.
second.
Discussion.
I see Chris is here today.
Yeah, I'm here. Come back up.
Please speak.
Thank you again for allowing me this opportunity to explain the Beyond Guardianship funding for $20,000. First and foremost, I'd like to acknowledge that this is Adult Protection Awareness Month. So everybody should please be aware for our senior citizens that are in need or in danger of being neglected or taken advantage of. We hope to have a proclamation here coming up in the next few weeks. But Beyond Guardianship is a provider that we like to contract with. They provide guardianship services for our adult protective services clients that have no family or inappropriate family to be their guardians. They are located in Elyria, which is nice. Again, trying to keep our funds within the limits of our county is always important. Our previous provider for this service was located in Cuyahoga County. This program will assist in looking out for the best interests of our APS clients. These can be very challenging and life-changing decisions, sometimes life or death decisions. Having this guardianship service removes these decisions and potential liability from our staff and from a younger staff that may not be as well versed in all of the APS needs until they're more seasoned. We typically refer approximately 5 adults to this program per year. Currently, there's around 7 that are active with the guardianship services. The service will only bill us when an actual service is provided, so it's not that we give them the funds in advance, they bill us as the service is provided. This is a $20,000 4-month request because the federal fiscal year will end in September, and so this is for the last 4 months, so it's really a $60,000 ask over the entire 12-month period. And just one final thing, I just want to note that I was talking to my APS supervisor today, and she had was telling me a little bit about the service, and I just think it's really neat that some of the things that they do, they provide some type of last wishes for people that are not doing very well or nearing end of life, and they do things like take these folks on motorcycle rides, motorcycle rallies, get a list of their last wishes, help grant some of their last wishes. And I know one thing they even did was that there was a gentleman that was really interested in classic cars and stuff, but he was stuck in a nursing home. They did a classic car drive by his window for him as part of his last wish. So I thought that was really cool that they did that. And so very important service for our seniors. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris, and thank you for that anecdote.
Commissioner Moore,
Aye.
Commissioner Riddell,
Aye.
Commissioner Gallagher.
Aye.
Under CBCF 15, amend Resolution 2555 adopted September 30th of 2020, awarding contract to Lamar Medical Services LLC, Columbia Station, for Lorain, Medina, CBCF for medical services. Amendment is for the compensation chart for the nursing and physician component and diagnostic assessments and psychiatric component for the remainder of the contract ending June 30th of 25. This will be paid from the CBCF Correctional Facilities Operating Account.
Move to approve.
Second?
Second?
Discussion. Commissioner Moore,
Aye.
Commissioner Gallagher,
Aye.
Commissioner Riddell.
Aye.
Okay, I got 2 ayes.
Yes, you do.
County Administrator's update.
One item today, and we have the honor today of having the Regional Director of Senator Husted is here. And Mary Kate Hastings is, and I think it's the first time we've had a senator since I've been here, not the senator himself, but somebody from that office in the 2 years that I've been here. But Mary Kate, thank you for coming. That completes my report.
That has to be the shortest administrator.
That's because Karen's off.
You just
No.
started.
It's been a long week, how's that? And a long last week, how's that? Enough said.
I have nothing. Board correspondence?
Move to waive the reading of the board correspondence.
Second?
Discussion.
Yeah, item number 9 talks about the 99s, an International Women's Pilots Group. They asked to paint their symbol on the ramp at our airport, which is cool because one of my friends, his mother's 90 years old and was a member of this group back in the 50s, 60s, and 70s. So, especially back when there wasn't too many female flyers in the country, you know. So I think that was a nice honor and nice to see that. So, if the media would like to get any more information on it, I believe Dan Gross had
Dan Gross had it,
he
yeah.
has all the data, photos, and stuff like that. If you guys would be interested in it, I can get it to you. So.
Is that it?
Mhm.
Commissioner Riddell,
Aye.
Commissioner Gallagher,
Aye.
Commissioner Moore.
Yes, we have new
New
business.
business
Are you okay
time.
with that?
Who wants
Yes.
to start first? You want me
I-
to?
Okay.
I'm going to introduce you, and you're going to lay it up for our guest.
Oh, okay, sounds good.
How's that?
Okay.
Yes, there's been quite a bit of conversation over the past 4 or 5 days concerning a revised list of sanctuary cities that was produced by somebody out of Washington DC, which when the media contacted us for collaboration or verification, we went into high gear. Commissioner Moore ran point on that, so I think he'd like to address the process of the last 3-4 days.
Well, I would say more, the county sheriff was involved, and what I like what happened, I'm about to talk about, is we really didn't have that for the last couple of years. You know, you have a sheriff working with the prosecutor, working with the commissioners, all three of us working together. When we ran, I know Marty heard this when we ran. I've been hearing it for years, that we are a sanctuary county, and I keep checking, and we're not a sanctuary county. I checked with Teresa, who's been here since 1942, and she said that, I said, Teresa, have we ever been? And she said there was talks about it, and but it never was implemented. So the only thing, we try to figure out what's going on, what's happening, why do they keep bringing this up? And what I found out is I got on the phone, we started communicating between the county sheriff's department, Congressman Lotta's office, Senators Moreno and Houston. We were in direct communications with them. It was all based on the executive order that came out from the Trump administration on Friday. And so when the media started writing about it, we started doing some work to figure out, okay, what's really going on here? And I think that's best, the front line would be our county sheriff, Jack Hall. I'd like to have him come up and share a little bit of what his research and how he attacked. Would you rather come up?
Yes.
I know he's been, and our condolences to the CEO. I know it was a rough weekend for you, so.
Thank you, I appreciate that. Commissioner Moore, thank you for having me up here, Commissioner Riddell and Commissioner Gallagher. This media flurry that started this weekend, I don't think anyone was more surprised than me when I saw the front door of my sheriff's office on several news media outlets stating that Lorain County was designated as a sanctuary county, sanctuary jurisdiction. With that in mind, we had reached out to our federal partners because apparently the crux of the sanctuary jurisdiction argument is that law enforcement agencies were not working or complying with or following the law in regards to immigration law. So we work with two partners in northern Ohio. One is the United States Border Patrol and the other one is the United States Immigration and Customs Enforcement Office. With that in mind, I reached out to the supervisors of both organizations here in Cleveland, which this was as much of a surprise to them as it was to me. They had reached out to Detroit. Many people are not aware that Cleveland actually reports to a much larger region, which is operated by the Detroit office, which includes Ohio, Michigan, Indiana, and Illinois. They had reached out to their supervisors. They could not come up with an answer this weekend. We had reached out to our senators, our congressional representatives, to find out how this had come about as well, since no one seemed to have an answer as how Lorain County, especially the sheriff's office involvement in this, was a sanctuary jurisdiction. With that in mind, we had received notification on Sunday from supervisors involved with Immigration and Customs Enforcement that not only the list had been taken down, but Lorain County had been removed from that list. The question arises from my inquiry and also that, Commissioner Moore, you said you were curious as to how in the world we got on this list in the first place. As of 3:30 this afternoon, I still don't have an answer specifically to how we got on the list, except a assistant director from the Detroit field office and Cleveland sub office, Ryan O'Burton, provided me with correspondence to state that the only thing that they could conclude at this time is that we were placed on the list by the prior federal administration. They are attempting to ascertain exactly who in that administration placed us on that list, but apparently we've been on the list now for a few years. I have a letter here from Director Overton that states that recently the Lorain County showed up on the Department of Homeland Security Sanctuary City list. The director would like to confirm that he was requested that Lorain County be removed from this list, and they are still waiting confirmation from the Department of Homeland Security headquarters. That was sent at 9:38 this morning. As of 2:50 this afternoon, I can confirm through Director Overton that he specifically said that he has received confirmation and is telling us through his channels Lorain County has been officially removed from any sanctuary jurisdictional list that was created by the Department of Homeland Security. The director assured me that they are continuing their diligence to attempt to find out how we ended up in the list in the first place, but this does not affect any federal funding that was announced in the news media on Friday, which for Lorain County and our task force amounts to $117,000 annually that we receive. That funding remains intact. Our federal partners remain sound with us in our ability to work these cases, And I also want to go on the record, because I'm sure this is going to be the question that is raised, have we deported anybody from Lorain County? Without jeopardizing any ongoing investigations that we have now, our Special Operations Division, this does not include Road Patrol yet because we have not amassed those numbers before this meeting. But yes, we were involved with contacting either Border Patrol or Immigration and Customs Enforcement on 22 incidents since I took office. Of those 22 incidences, 20 of them were involved directly with labor, sex, or drug trafficking in regards to specifically hotels located along our turnpike exits on 20, 57, and 58 here in Lorain County. Those subjects that were part of those investigations were identified, and they were ICE contacted us in regards to having those subjects transported to their custody because they were on a list. So therefore, we did that. 2 subjects on that list, one was arrested because he was stopped on a traffic stop on I-90. And unfortunately, he had an out-of-country driver's license and was on the DHS list to be deported from the country. Another individual who was stopped on a traffic stop came up as a domestic violence and restraining order situation that he had, was also on the list. Of those individuals, we had one who was actually under federal indictment for crimes that were committed, and he was charged by the federal government. He was transferred to the custody of Border Patrol and Customs Enforcement agents. So out of that, we have contacted every single time that we've had somebody come across our radar in a criminal investigation, our Homeland Security partners of Border Patrol and Immigration and Customs Enforcement responded. The average pickup time that they responded to Lorain County has been from 12 to 35 minutes in regards to which they have responded to take these people in custody. Only one has been transported to the Lorain County Correctional Facility, and that was the individual who is under federal indictment. And he was held for literally 90 minutes before Border Patrol came and picked him up. We believe that we were not out of compliance with any federal law. And a matter of fact, there was an allegation that we broke the law here in Lorain County. We could not find any proof that anybody had broken the law in Lorain County as far as the sheriff's office or any other government entity that is a public office underneath the control of the commissioners. So we are still trying to get confirmation of why that allegation was even made. So that's where it stands today. We are not on any list, and it is confirmed that we are not on any list. And the $117,000 in grant monies that we received, particularly in our partnership with Border Patrol and Immigration and Customs Enforcement, is intact, let alone any other federal funds. And we've heard a couple times today how federal funds are utilized for very important programs, including seniors and the elderly who need to receive those services from the county, and the county is a pass-through through that grant funding. That remains intact, as well as I was advised by the Immigration and Customs Enforcement Director or Assistant Director for the region. I'll entertain any questions that the commissioners may have.
I have a statement. I'd like to say something. I think it's our responsibility as commissioners to take a position on it to uphold the laws of the United States, which we shouldn't have to be doing. It reinforces law and order, in my opinion. It's not about division, it's about responsibility. The laws were made for a reason, and you can come into this country legally if you go the right path. Lorain County, as far as I'm concerned, will not be a sanctuary city if it comes down to my vote.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Well, what I'd like to do, with your permission, is we prepared a resolution. I know
Yes.
Teresa did, and I
Yes,
don't know if we want
at this juncture, I'd like to note that I think you can tell by the breadth of the sheriff's response that we're not addressing a matter to be taken lightly. And this has probably raised more inquiry from the media and from citizens than I've seen in months on any particular topic before Lorain County. And as such, I hate to establish a precedent, but we do have a resolution. Normally, we pass resolutions for things we're going to do. It's unusual, and I may regret someday setting this precedent, but we're going to put up for consideration vote a resolution on what we're not going to do. And so that's a pretty big world, and I hope that we don't get ourselves into something that'll cause us a lot of extra work. But I think it's important to make an official statement in order to put things to bed and to support our sheriff in the activities that have been going on for the last 4 months. And that resolution is, Victor is on the screen.
Go ahead if you want to read it.
In the matter of declaring Lorain County as a non-sanctuary county in the state of Ohio, whereas Lorain County supports legal immigration in the United States, and whereas Lorain County is not, nor has ever been, a sanctuary county in the state of Ohio. Now therefore be it resolved by Lorain County Board of Commissioners that we hereby reaffirm Lorain County as a non-sanctuary county in the state of Ohio.
Move to approve.
Second?
Discussion.
Yes. Back in 2001 and 2, I did make some public statements in regards to boards of commissioners participating in activities. They were trying to vote on the Iraq War. I'm like, we're a Lorain County Commissioner. So usually when it comes to getting involved in this type of issue, that's a federal issue, I would usually not agree with something like this. But considering the threats that were made against this county in regards to pulling our funding, hurting our citizens, all because of misinformation. That misinformation then gets on Facebook and everywhere else, and the next thing you know, it harms our community and it harms on who we are. And that's why I'm glad you came in. I know you're busy. I know you have a lot going on, and I do appreciate you coming in and sharing with us. And honestly, with our discussions, I think you're very respectful and nice based on what we really went through for these last couple of days. So I appreciate your words today. So,
Well, thank you very much. And one other point that you bring up is regarding social media. It took everything I had not to respond
yeah,
to this on the weekend. But I think, a good look at this and a balanced and fair look at this to find out, was there any truth to this whatsoever? We worked through the weekend on investigating this. I think we got enough people away from their families on the weekends to go in to investigate this, and I appreciate the support of our congressional leaders and our senators here in Ohio who actually took that time this weekend to look that up. But we do sometimes want to react to things online, and Commissioner Riddell, I understand that you're saying that you're not trying to set a precedent or a reaction here, but I just want to assure the three of you that we thoroughly investigated this, looked into this, reached out to our congressional and senator partners in this who represent every citizen in the state of Ohio to be able to come to a reason as to why this was done in the first place. So, as I can say, I'm happy to report to you the information that I received from Immigration and Customs Enforcement regarding their decision into this, and I'm glad that we did not respond to this through social media over the weekend, or that
Thank
any of you responded
I
to it
agree.
on social media over the weekend.
Sometimes you can't respond.
True,
well, I do appreciate, I know Congressman Lotta said he'd call the White House immediately on Monday morning, and he did.
they did.
And I know Senators Moreno and Houston both were very aggressive and open communication on a Sunday.
They were.
And it's kind of nice to have that kind of communication from all of our local elected officials, our congressional and senators. It was really, even though this was, I felt, an attack on us, it was nice to see how we all came together. So
Well, thank you. And for the record, I have the actual letter
I'd like to get a
from
copy
the
of
Assistant
that.
Director of the
Yeah.
Department of
Well,
Homeland
yeah,
Security.
okay. And then after we vote on this, I'm going to ask you something, if you don't mind staying at the podium. So,
Anything further on this?
I thought I was out of here, but
oh no.
You're not
Commissioner,
getting away that cheap.
Commissioner Moore,
Aye.
Commissioner Gallagher,
Aye.
Commissioner Riddell.
Aye.
Okay. In regards to these other issues, we really weren't prepared. I kind of said some things in other meetings in regards to how we're going to start moving forward. We, as the budget authority, we are constantly reviewing the budget. We are constantly working with our sheriff, who has been dealing with trying to correct a lot of wrongs. And what we're going to do is, with the board's permission, I know the prosecutor's office has reviewed it. Teresa told me she got it this afternoon. I don't want to vote on it, but I'd like to have a resolution be prepared for Friday's discussion. And just so the media is aware, what we're talking to the sheriff about is his budget. I know you have the better numbers, but it's like 29 million is what the general fund covers our sheriff. 13.6 million comes from the sales tax. And I would like to use the month of June, and in order to do this before the 4th of July weekend, is have a discussion in regards to the sales tax, so that our law enforcement our county law enforcement agency will have their own revenue stream in order at least to mitigate the cost on our general fund. And so if that's okay, Friday, if you're, I know Tiny's been working, if that's okay, if you could come back in, instead of bringing it up under new business like we thought, I'd rather wait till Friday, have you on the agenda, and maybe we'll start the initial discussions, and we'll hold 2 public meetings, and that will be discussed on Friday, if you are okay to come in with Tanya and your staff. So,
Absolutely.
And
yeah.
for those who are a little bit curious about what Commissioner Moore is talking about, back when the original jail was built in the 70s, the voters of Lorain County wisely passed a 0.25% sales tax to fund the operation of the jail, and to do so in an appropriate way. I think we all know what's happened to the price of everything since the 1970s, and we've doubled the size of the jail, and it continues to be the size that will be maintained now and into the future. So it's time to address that issue and restore the funding to an apolitical stream that the sheriff and his staff can count on, in order to operate in forthright and planning forward meaning of doing so. So those discussions will start on Friday. We've still, the point man on this will be the only guy that's old enough to have been here in 1970.
Okay,
whatever.
yeah, I was,
1970, whatever it was. So, but we encourage everybody to step in and participate in the meetings as we go forward in June.
And Commissioner Moore deserves that comment from the comment he made about Teresa earlier.
Thank you, Sheriff. Thank you.
Thank you.
But we look forward to it. Thank you for the opportunity.
no, but thank you for coming in.
Thank you, Sheriff. We'll be seeing
Thank
more
you.
of you, I'm sure. Yes.
See, I even got Houston's office calling me now. So I don't know, someone from your office is calling us, so.
Okay. There being no other business before the board,
No public comment, I guess, so.
I have no sheets.
we have no sheets. I would make a motion that we adjourn into
No. Recess.
recess. I keep forgetting that part. Recess into executive session for the purposes of discussing legal matters, and we will be reconvening as close to 4:30 as we can. There's a ditch hearing after that for those who need something to do and want to attend a ditch hearing.
Thank you.
We need a motion and a second to go into.
I'll
executive
second
session.
that.
Thank
All right.
you. Commissioner
I'll motion
Riddell.
it.
No, I think Jeff
Commissioner Dow.
motioned it.
Aye.
Commissioner Moore.
Aye.
Commissioner Gallagher.
Aye.
Thank you. Victor, you ready? Commissioners have reconvened from executive session.
Motion to adjourn?
Second?
Commissioner Riddell,
Aye.
Commissioner Gallagher,
Aye.
Commissioner Moore.
Aye.
We're adjourned. Okay, hold on.